Hello, hello, hello. Howdy, everybody, and how's everybody doing? So, today, what last week was a bit of turmoil, okay? This weekend, last week, all of the above. Almost every game that I have played an absolute ridiculous amount of has major updates that have come out. So, a lot of you know I play an absolute ton of Warframe. I don't play it on stream, but that's because there's a lot of. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of people who are just playing the game, just live streaming. All of the story content and all of that is stuff that I've already done, so I just don't see it as, something people would want to watch. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. That would be wonderful. Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 are games I have been playing for years. And my favorite thing to do is build theory craft. And what this means is, I don't have a plan. I have a very loose idea of what I'd like to do, and I want to try to build it and see if I can get it to work. Now, that means I might struggle a little bit. It might be sad to watch my damage. There might be all kinds of other things that aren't working right or that don't happen, and that's okay. The entire intent here is to kind of figure things out. So last season, we did a poison and vine-based archer build that I absolutely loved. There was something gorgeous about literally just hitting something with a gas cloud or with a normal poison arrow and just absolutely watching them get obliterated without having to touch them. It was amazing, and it makes me really cringe that the shock arrow was such a big deal, and it will be again this season. It always is. But I always play on solo self-found. Now, my reasoning for this is really simple. Every build can work. There's even a YouTube channel I'm a big fan of that is dedicated to the concept that if you have access to trade and you can get gear that way, anything is viable. Anything can get all the way through the game, and that's great. What I want to know is, can someone take this idea of the core concept being a wolf summoner and push it to the limits and get it further without the help of being able to trade on the trade league using the currencies as they were designed? So that is what we are going to be doing today, and probably every day that I have available solo for a while. I do have a non-solo self-found character I've kind of poked at, but I think they're level 4. So this entire league mechanic is going to be new to me. So let's go ahead and get in and get started. We are going to pick... So I'm actually torn here. I don't know the requirements for the new wolf forms. I'm assuming they're strength and intelligence based, like the druid is, but it's very difficult to know. So we're going to start with the druid, and if we struggle making the build work the way that I envision it, because I'm not just going to use wolves, it is my intent to use scepters to buff, to use spirit, and to actually try to form a true army and have the wolves and the wolf pack as a part of that system. In fact, to have at the core of the system. Most of you know that in my Path of Exile 1 journey, my entire shtick was a field commander. Someone who was a summoner, but also was in the middle of the fight with sword and shield, with whatever I was rocking at the time to make that work. I still love those build ideas. Because I don't know, I just have always loved that as a concept. So that's kind of what we're going to try to recreate here. It's been very difficult to recreate in Path of Exile 2 because there's not really been a strength and intelligence focused character class yet. Enter the Druid. We have that now. So we will do Runic. We will do Runic Wolf summons. There we go. And let's see what we can get done here. Now, I have adjusted my audio. My intent in adjusting my audio the way I have, believe it or not, is to make the game sound a little easier on people's ears over long periods of time. I typically stream 4 hours at a go, so if somebody wanted to sleep to this, great. I'm not going to do all of the lore-based stuff. Most people have done that or seen that. I'm probably... There's certain parts of dialogue I do like, but I'll be skipping a good chunk of it unless I'm just curious what the druid's going to say in this. Oh, it starts us with a staff. Okay. Interesting. That's a choice. I honestly expected to start with a way to shift forms, but I'm assuming that's gonna... That'll probably be in our secondary chest over here. Yeah, I know. Our quest is to find Clearfill. And I know there's a whole meme about the druid being slow right now. There's lots of people already mapping that are saying, no, that's not true at all. But the way they demonstrated the druid on the live stream made everybody feel like they were slow. This definitely makes me feel like that. Okay, channeling talisman. Okay. Bear form or wolf form? Well, if we're going to do wolf... Okay. Let us swap these. I actually want to put this over here. Okay, the dodge is interesting. I know they mentioned it on the live stream. Is it my imagination, or is the attack speed scaling up as we go with that hit combo? I feel like it is. Can I get over here? Oh, we're restarting the realm to deploy the update. Really, guys? Really? So here we were, gonna stream this, and they're doing an update. And it said it's going to take about 10 minutes. I guess once the realm goes down, we can kind of sit and maybe look at the ascendancies and look at the skills together and formulate a rough plan. I'm always hesitant to look at the builds that exist online. Now, let me explain. It's not that they're not good. It's that the entire point of, to me, is to play the way I want to play instead of playing the way everybody else is going to play. So if I don't know, I can accidentally stumble into a meta build. I have no problem with that. But I don't want to intentionally go after a meta build. That just doesn't make me happy. Oh, I guess I should put this over here. And to me, is the end result any different? Not necessarily. But it's the difference in, I don't want to know. If it's bad, I want to make that assessment on my own. If I'm having problems with it, I want to troubleshoot those problems and figure them out. But that's just that's a my personality thing. I like how long that lasts. It's a shame it doesn't interact with the wolf at all. The transition between the two forms is seamless. I can tell you already, we are squishier than I expected. Boy, wouldn't that be embarrassing as somebody who plays quite a bit of hardcore to go out on the Miller. We're not playing hardcore at the moment, but not the point. I almost feel like in wolf form I need some form of parry. So, I'm not a fan of the volcano. That was a lot of extra screen clutter in terms of me being able to see charge up attacks and things like that. Now, as a reminder to folks, I am also colorblind to a large degree. Multiple different types and even some oddities thrown in from those types. So visual clutter to me is a significantly different problem than it is to average people. Not saying their way is right or wrong, just it's very different. It makes it difficult for me to know what is going on. Alright, we will accept all of the quests inside the town. And just so everybody is, you know, we are absolutely empty here. There should be absolutely nothing. We have no gold except for what we picked up. Did they ever fix the fact that I had to go through and... Aha! Hey, look, I don't have to... That's nice. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Grinding Gear Games, for fixing that particular problem. Let's grab essences, sockets. We won't need maps or anything of that sort, and then we'll put crafting at the top. Nice. Okay, let's look at our passive tree. And let's kind of look at... I've truly not looked at this kind of stuff. Let's see what we've got here. This is the defensive path. Includes mana regen, base attributes, maximum life per second, spell damage, and attack damage. So what do I have here in the way of minions? Nothing? Okay, there's some nodes up here. Those have been there for a while. Every rage also grants you 1% increased minion attack speed and minion damage. So a rage wolf build gain 15% of their maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. And we'll kind of poke at this while we're waiting. The one will restart in 15 minutes. Okay, we can get a little farther than that. We'll try not to spend too long. You can equip a non-unique scepter while wielding a talisman. Nice. That will definitely be in our path. Ooh, increased attack damage for every minion. Minion defenses. Okay, so there's lots in our path here. There's lots of good, viable... Lots of good, viable options and opportunities. That is awesome. So, I kind of want to start the defensive option. Because I feel like being as slow as we are, that's going to be better for us. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's right. We'll figure it out as we go. I'm not too stressed about it. For now, we're going to identify the boots and we're going to identify the shirt because they are potentially useful to us. I mean, theoretically the staff is too, but we're not going to spend any time in human form. We are going to disenchant those. Now, in solo self-found, I cannot encourage you enough. Disenchant, disenchant, disenchant. Do not sell. Gold is not of much value to you. Disenchant, disenchant, disenchant. All right. What do we have here? Volcano, which we already have. Entangle. Lunar Assault. Converts 80% of physical damage to cold. Really big cold buildup. That's awesome. Let's go with that. We're actually going to replace Volcano. I have absolutely no use for that whatsoever. We're going to put Lunar Assault on our right click. And let's see how that feels. I'm going to put the Volcano in here in case we want to build something out of it. There's no reason to really buy any gear at this point. We have a little bit of armor, a little bit of energy shield. How does this... Oh. Okay, yeah, that's a little awkward to hit. It's like you almost have to hit them on approach. Or that's how it feels. Maybe that's wrong. I'm trying to confirm if they're right on top of you, if that... Okay, that did hit. It just doesn't look like it will, like visually. Oh, we got an Orb of Transmutation right off the bat like that. Nice. Now, we don't know really how the talismans work, how much they contribute to your damage, or any of those things, so we're going to hold off on using any of our currencies that we get. Please remember, oh, I love the little shards ripping off. That is beautiful. I'm curious what all we'll be able to do with that. The mana cost. That was really weird to me. We were literally just sitting there swinging it. Swing on him. All right. I do like how seamlessly the melee combos switch from one target to the other. That feels really good. Hey, those orbs do reasonable damage, too. Not bad, not bad. This should be another gem. We actually don't really need this one, I don't think. Gold. Where is everything? Yeah, it definitely hits point blank. The arc on that just... Okay, but it missed him. Was that a miss? See, it makes me ask questions. A bridge? I forget. She's cold, so she's cold resistant. That's fine. I'm actually tempted to do things with the basic attack. I feel like we can get something done with it. Create some stun, create some things like that. We still have 10 minutes before I have to worry too much. Well, I'll say we have 5 minutes before I have to worry too much. We are definitely in need of a little damage, but it's still pretty early. Get that cold resist going. Whoops. Wow, Brunick. Now, the reason I'm not using the skill gem is because we don't really have another skill that is wolf-based. Everything is for the druid, and I really want to focus on the idea of summoning as a concept. And maybe that's wrong. I'll take it if it is. We could like flip to doing unearth. Have those as summons to start with until we can get a wolf pack going. But I really want to get a feel for how the wolf attacks and moves and does its thing. Once we get to the 5-minute warning, we will find a way to wind this down a little bit. We'll look at the ascendancies, we'll go look at what all is going on, and we will kind of make an assessment from there. Oh, the wolf can sprint. I know that probably sounds weird, but I was curious if they would have a slightly faster sprint speed because they already had the increased move speed by default. That was what I was looking for, was the mud burrows. That was interesting that the consideration for the base layout had changed so much. Usually that map is, I won't say static, but there's some pretty discernible and easy to understand patterns. Attack speed is definitely going to be a thing. Why are my items not showing? I forget what that where that is. Well, we are pressed, so we're not going to spend too much time looking at it. Wow, we are taking significantly more damage than I expected with us wearing armor. Let us grab... I'm glad we're doing some defenses here. I definitely feel like... bears probably... The bear probably feels a little better. The wolf feels squishy. I'm sure some of that's intentional. But we definitely... I'm feeling the need for sustain already, which is generally not a good position to be in this early. And maybe I just need to be more motion conscious. Probably got a lot to do with it. What's that I always joke about when playing Valorant? It helps if you're actually good. The damage seems really nice, though. I am a little frustrated we're getting an update patch in the middle of the night. It must be a pretty bad bug. I'm hoping to at least get this fight out of the way before we have to drop. Ooh, freezing him is a lot harder than I expected. There's our 5-minute warning. We should definitely be able to finish this in that time period. That shouldn't be a problem. Ooh, get out of the poison. Man, once we can stun up with that, we seem to be in good shape. So we're also, if I remember correctly, the wolf cub, the wolf summons are also based off of ice effects. Oh. So we may need to invest in some freeze. I do like how AoE this is. It's very satisfying. Get out of the poison. Ah, there's no place in there that's not poison. Goodness. Thank you for moving. All right, we should be done in 3, 2, 1. Level up. Oh yeah, we are definitely not leaving anything like that behind. No, we're probably going to do that instead. All right, let us get ourselves to town. We'll go look over the patch notes in the forums and come back. A little more defenses. All right. Let me get this closed down. So, let's talk. Let's go look at the patch notes real quick. So let me get This was not my intent of what I expected to do, so I'm being stared at by Freena, y'all. Give me just a second. Okay, is that the nighttime variation? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have to go to the Path of Exile to forums, I guess. Path of Exile 2 servers are restarting in 1 minute. That's cool that they post that actually on the forums. So hang on, let me get this for you guys up here so we can look at it. I apologize, I did not realize I didn't have this up. Bad Brunick. All right, so let's look at general discussion. No idea. Maybe forum index. Here we go. Early access patch notes. 4.0b, beta of the Vol League changes and bug fixes. Added additional modifier options and buff values for Vol unique modifiers on certain weapons and body armors. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so it's easier for y'all to see on your screens. All right, added an identify items option to Doriani in the Vol Ruins. Okay, so Doriani was present in the Vol Ruins and didn't have an identify option. Sounds good. Added an option for physical damage to roll as a Vol unique modifier on the Adorned when using the Vol Cultivation Orb. Okay. So it looks like most of these are just bugs that they're having with the actual at Ziri's Temple. Vol modifier on the Corona of the Red Sun. Vol modifier. Attribute requirements modifier could not be modified. General changes. Okay. Increase the chances for tablets to drop. Okay, that's huge. Unless there was some kind of error that we were not aware of, that change is huge. Even if it's 1%. The Searing Heat notable passive skill now provides 10% faster ignites instead of 8% reduced skill effect duration. Yeah, the reduced skill effect duration makes no sense for Searing Heat. Zenith 2 support now has a cost multiplier of 100%, previously 120. You can no longer gain fuel for Incinerate while your spell totem is using Incinerate. Commanding minions to use a skill while you are shapeshifted no longer reverts you to human form. Ooh, so we would have run into this. Interesting. Okay. Abyss precursor tablets will now be placed in the stash tab that has the fragment affinity applied to it. That's good. So that was something I was running into with in the last league, is there wasn't a currency holder for those or a stash tab for sale for those yet. I'm expecting we'll get one soon, or it'll be incorporated in something else. Reduce the movement speed and tracking of Krutog, Lord of Kin's foot stomp fisher skill. Okay, I'm assuming that was killing people. The Flesh Puppet unique talismans modifiers lost this way are lost after 30 seconds or when you next shapeshift modifier can no longer be scaled. Wow, that was a lot of words. Flesh Puppet unique talisman. What is this? Rare talisman. Increased physical damage. That's nice. Increased attack speed. All attributes. Reduced presence area of effect. Copy a random modifier from each enemy in your presence when you shapeshift to an animal form. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. So, modifies lost this way or lost after 30 seconds or when you next shapeshift modder can no longer be scaled. Okay, so now it's flat. Updated feral invocations description to clarify the attacks are not triggered. Updated the description of shaman's reactive groan notable passive to clarify less damage modifier. I'm just kind of glancing up to see what our restarting now. Should be back in approximately 10 minutes. I just wanted to double check. That's why I highlighted where we were. Inscribed, ultimatums, relics, tablets, and new jewel or honor modifiers now have a more appropriate gold value to vendors. So I was literally watching a there's a series I really like and appreciate called Zero to Hero, in which the purveyor of those videos literally does build roulette, where they spin a wheel for a random skill and a random ascendancy, and then they go do that. And one of the things he was trying to do, because he tries to reset his economy every time, is he was trying to make money because he got very cheap alchemy orbs and got a ton of them. He was trying to then burn those to make items that he was picking up worth more gold than what it cost him to trade for those, and he was struggling. I'm assuming that's actually a direct relation to that. You can now only have one level up effect equipped at a time. Wow. Okay, a bunch of bugs. That's a lot of bug fixes. How many of these are wyvern form? Because I've heard the wyvern form is really buggy. Ooh. Fixed a bug where bear form's dodge roll traveled 30% further than wyvern, wolf, or human dodge rolls. Yeah, I could see that being a problem. Returning to areas through portals subsequently opened the first world. Fixed a bug where Briar Patch could not deal critical hits. It now has a 10% base critical hit chance. Wind Blast. I was looking for some visual bug stuff on some Inspector, Tame Beast, and Disciple of Varashta's Razun. Could not be supported by Spell Echo or Spell Cascade. Fixed an issue with the Frostborn Friends map boss, was dealing no damage with some of their attacks. Oh, wow. Fast Frostborn Fiend. Brunick can read. I promise. I swear to you guys, I can read. Okay. So, hang on. I need to... Okay, there we go. Wow, wow, wow. Fixed 2 client crashes, 3 instant crashes. That's crazy. All right, let's look at where we are up here. PoE servers 2, they should be back up in approximately, should say 10 minutes. Yeah. Some features will be unavailable. Okay. So let's look at game. Let's look at the Ascendancy classes here. Oh, this is for PoE 1. Are the PoE 2 ones here? Oh. Okay, Path of Exile. How do I move over to PoE 2 forum? Let's go to forum index. Patch notes, feedback, PoE 2 builds, not interested. Trading. Early access on console. Okay, so I'm going to guess that anything related to these is going to be specific to Path of Exile 1. So let's just do a PoE 2 Ascendancy. Okay, I don't know why I put all that over there. Try that again. Oh, I don't care about pick rate. I can't even Google today, guys. That's how bad it is. Okay. So we are aiming for the Druid. Let's look at all that say to be announced. I mean, it all exists. Why does anybody have it? That doesn't make any sense. Do they have... What am I missing? Maybe I'm just in a bad spot. Okay. This is definitely different. Let's see what we've got here. Druid and Shaman. Hey, there we go. So those are kind of off. All right, so that's the Shaman Ascendancy plus 40 Spirit for each of your empty charm slots. Ooh, from a summoning perspective, that's huge. It's the bonded modifiers. 3 to maximum rage. Every 2 rage also grants 1% more spell damage. We're not interested in that at all. No inherent loss of rage sounds interesting, though. Regenerate 6%. So it's just literally a rage build. Increases and reductions to mana regeneration also apply to rage generation. Wow. Okay. Skills have +5 to rage cost, +7 to maximum rage. Okay. So this is, I would like to rage, please. Physical damage taken is lightning damage, cold damage, fire damage. Adaptations have a duration of 5 seconds. Double adaptation effects. +3 to all elemental resistances. Okay. Grant skill Apocalypse, which could be fascinating. Oh, wow. So what we'll probably do on our very first Ascendancy is go here, +40 to Spirit for each of your empty charm slots. Now, I do wonder if this is going to count only the charm slots that are available on your belt that are empty, or if it will count, let's say you have 3 charm slots, or is it 4? If you have a belt that only holds 1, does this give you 40 for each one? I don't know. We'll have to see. That we will definitively play with. Okay, and let's look at the Oracle while we're here. Enemy critical hit chance against you is unlucky. That's huge, especially with certain maps. It's all about the crits. Inevitable critical hits. I'm assuming that just scales it until you make a hit. Non-keystone passive skills in medium radius of allocated keystone passive skills can be allocated without being connected. Okay. That makes sense now. So, for instance, if I were to pick up this, let's say this is your skill tree. If I were to pick up this, it could grab this one, even if it wasn't directly connected. Okay, or this one, assuming it was in radius. That makes sense. It's kind of crazy, but it makes sense. 1 Atlas passive skill point. Walk the paths not taken. Oh, that's the expansion. Domain expansion. Align fate. Are these listed down here, what they are? Spell damage, passive point. Passive point. Spell damage. Okay, so they are listed down here in detail. Paths not taken. So yeah, that's the Oracle only nodes. Moment of vulnerability. Send out Temporal Nova to take advantage of enemies' moment of vulnerability. Hitting enemies that are primed for stun, electrocution, or freeze causes a visage of them to appear, lasting as long as the original target would have been affected by the form used to create the visage. A portion of the damage dealt to visages is also dealt to the original. So anybody that you have that you're about to stun, electrocute, or freeze, you can then AoE. That's kind of funny. Bobby, what's up, man? Servers are just rebooting, so we're doing a little research while we wait. While active, visage you yourself. Oh, this was the Shadow Clone Jutsu thing that they were showing. where random specters of you will appear casting a spell from your weapon, and if you cast the same spell, you get a bonus to it. Awesome to hear, man. Hopefully you were having a good time. Inevitable criticals, is that what I thought? Yep, exactly what I thought it was. Okay, let's kind of glance at... We'll close these down because they were useless. Oh. Okay, then. Nord Army one. Oh, are you talking about a mod? So those are pretty cool. Let's look at passive skill tree, and let's kind of make a plan for where we intend to go with this. It got released the other day. That's awesome. Okay, so there's no text on these at all. I mean, I know which way we went. We started here. So we will do Druid. And we went here, to here, to here, to here, to here. How's it going to count all that up? Nice. Okay. Have you ever played Path of Exile or Path of Exile 2, Bobby? Send it to me on Discord. The stream Autobot blocked it out because I'm assuming it's a link. Hey, there we go. So it's interesting that it lists two different things here. One for the Druid and one for everything else. Okay, that's back up. So I'm assuming that the game is as well. Let's give it a roll. We will probably have to patch. You need to patch first. I tried. Oh, hey, now the update required shows on Steam. I had to launch it first. Holy cow. What size patch did they release? 3.1 gigabytes, estimated 5 minutes. Okay, well, let's get comfy. My word. Go away, Adobe Acrobat. I don't care. So I know there were a bunch of nodes. I really can't, me personally, I need to kind of see them. And I don't know how much I trust this. I know this is Path of Exile 2 database, not Path of Building. Appreciate it, sir. That's all projectile skills that I don't think were there. Only 15 degrees here in Michigan? That's crazy. All right, we have an estimated 5 minutes remaining, and I really don't know what else to look at. I know that one of the things that I'm really sad is the lack of a summoner focus in any of the ascendancies except for the actual uh oddly the mercenary seems to have the closest thing to true summoner focused builds. I still want to very badly one of these times do a mercenary build where I'm focusing on the actual the companion, which is basically a mind controlled minion. She'd love the mod because of the weapons in it. Well, the biggest thing with her is she likes the game, but at the same time, we're talking about 7 Days to Die for anybody who's not familiar. That's what we were streaming last night. We normally play the game as a large family, and we run into a problem on a consistent basis where everybody kind of wants to do what they always have done, even though we've been playing the game for like 10 years. And that gets a little awkward and a little weird, even though some of the skills and skill paths change and all that other fun stuff. It's just kind of one of those, what she needs is we're just playing the two of us. So how do we freshen this up so she doesn't, fall way behind? All that fun jazz. Or feel really far behind. Because, like, she was struggling yesterday because she chose to go intelligence, but she found a shotgun, which is her normal path she goes, and she's like, it doesn't do any damage. That's because you haven't really spec'd into shotgun at all. All right, what's our download at? Validating. That's good. Still estimating that we have 3 minutes left. Anything in here that we should have looked at and didn't? I don't think so. That's all bug fixes. Yeah. They literally said they fixed crashes in here. That was the... Fixed a disconnect that could occur when modifying equipment. Fixed a client crash that could occur while using a controller. 2 of them. Fixed a client crash that occur in party play. Fixed a client crash that occur on Xbox. Fixed 2 just client crashes and 3 instance crashes. I got you, man. I just appreciate you being here. So yeah, it always frustrates me when people are like, what about performance? It's literally listed in the patch notes. Fix the console crashes, listed in the patch notes. Sell, Abyss is over. I mean, it's part of the base game. It's not over. We can still do all the Abyss stuff. I will never understand that. But I rarely participate in trade leagues. Like, that's just not my thing. I used to be a trade mogul. I ran auction houses in Classic WoW, like, pre any expansions to WoW. I ran major corporations in EVE Online and even was a nullsec CEO in EVE Online in charge of building out stuff as they added the planets in and the ability to do special crafting there. Like, I love that kind of thing, or have loved that kind of thing. I just have never gotten into it with Path of Exile or Path of Exile 2. And I think some of that's just when I started playing the solo self-found hardcore was this mystic thing that everybody thought was impossible. Not impossible, but like people just looking at the game were like, oh my God, how can you do that? And so because I was always playing solo self-found, even once they added trading into the game, it just wasn't a thing. It wasn't an option. Okay, here we go. We are good. Make sure the game is going to launch. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I wonder if that's a Brunic problem or if that's an everybody problem or... Okay, let's pretend like this error isn't here. Can we just play? So it's throwing an exception. Nope. Game immediately crashed. This should be fun. Let's go to the last page here. Yep, okay, not just us. Okay, well, I guess what we need to do, since they're going to go through all of these problems and all of this stuff, is we need to punt to what game we were going to play. Wow. This was not on my bingo card for today. Like, at all. Okay, so I'm trying to go through my options and what it is that I want to do. This was really the game I was set up to play. We're streaming to multiple locations. I don't have any kind of mods to change titles and do all of that. I'm probably just going to go ahead and close down the stream early. I have Frina that needs some stuff. I have a daughter still out of the house. That was not at all my intent. I do apologize to everybody. It looks like fate just decided. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go into Discord. So I appreciate everybody being here. If you're not a member of our Discord community, please go ahead and join. It's not visible on YouTube, but if you go into my Twitch stream, it is an option for you to jump in. I'm going to go into the chill channel and probably play some Warframe, but where I don't have to, it's not the burden of, fully live streaming and worrying about spoilers for people and all that other fun jazz. Again, that was not my intent for today, but I think that's what we're going to do. So I apologize for closing down stream early. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you all very much, but we're going to close down for the night. Thank you.